Football in the Southeastern Conference. Nothing quite like it. Several hundred campers in the parking lot. They started coming here on Wednesday and Thursday. You can find hamburgers, chicken, boiled peanuts. That's just part of the fare. But they're here for one main reason. Regardless of the records, they come to Legion Field to see this one because the number 9 ranked Volunteers of Tennessee are in town to take on their home favorite, Crimson Tide of Alabama. The man they want to stop, 4th time that he started against the Crimson Tide. Peyton Manning has had great success against them. And I got to tell you a story. Got a call from a former teammate of his earlier this week, Bubba Miller. Bubba said, I'm calling just to tell you one thing. I was on the 90 team. We were ranked number 3 in the nation. Alabama was not even ranked. They won the game 9-6. And he said, Peyton, all I'm telling you is I don't care what their record is. Alabama will play like a 6-0 football team. Carry that message to your teammates. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried. Welcome once again to Saturday primetime college football here on ESPN. And, Mike, for Peyton Manning, last time around, it's got to be a special night for him in this rivalry setting.
Ron, Peyton Manning's the best player in college football. And with the emergence of Jamal Lewis in the running game, now the play-action pass becomes even a bigger weapon for Peyton.
I have to ask you this question, what kind of bearing it'll have on our football game tonight. They announced the score of what happened at Auburn today, Florida's big win. The Alabama side went crazy. Tennessee just kind of sat there. They didn't really react. Would it affect Tennessee tonight?
I think it will, Ron. They announced it a couple times. And when you look at Tennessee, Tennessee's a better football team athletically than Alabama. But when you look at that ball game that happened down the road, the effect it may have on Tennessee, they think that may be the last chance that Florida has to lose. So it'll be important to watch how Tennessee reacts here early in the ball game.
Coach DuBois, first year at Alabama, 3-2 his start. Philip Fulmer on the other side of the field, his 6th year at Tennessee. 47-10 his record, 82%, 82.5 in fact. And as you can see, helmets high in the air, and the 3rd Saturday in October is about to get underway from Legion Field. Baez will kick it off. Goodrich, the deep man for the Tennessee Volunteers, standing back at the 2-yard line. And this one is underway for 1997. Goodrich on the run from the 10. Far side, crosses the 20, comes across the 30, and a nice return out to the 32-yard line. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our team. Let's go down to the sideline, Adrian Karsten.
Ron, thanks for all the history and tradition of this game that motivate and has motivated so many players in the past. There's one potential superstar of this game tonight that hasn't been affected by any of it. Jamal Lewis just turned 18, and he has no idea of what the 3rd Saturday in October is supposed to feel like. And that should be Alabama's defense's biggest concern, because all he wants to do is come out tonight, play his game, and become the first ever Tennessee running back to collect 200 yards in 2 consecutive games, right?
We'll see if that should happen tonight. As you can hear, the crowd is very loud. That's not surprising. The corners creep up. They come in the blitz. Going to throw on first down. Going to be caught from behind, and it's Deshae Townsend coming off a corner blitz on first down, and they sack Peyton Manning. Tennessee offensively. Manning, we just talked about. He will have with him Jamal Lewis, the freshman from Atlanta, and Sean Bryson. The receivers, they're very good. Copeland, Nash, and Price. We'll tell you about Nash in the pregame warm-ups in a moment. And the offensive line, well, Trey Teague, the guy in the middle, Riley and Hamilton, along with Rito and Chad Clifton at the tackles. Loss of 12 in the play. Here they come with another corner blitz, and they run the draw play right in that hole. It's Lewis, spins down at the 23, and it's Steve Stanley defensively for the Crimson Tide. Here's the way they line up, the front 4. And they have been pressured this year. Hood, Curley, Panks, and Grimes. With the loss of Myers, it's been huge at that right defensive tackle. The linebackers have got to step up tonight. They have not so far this year. Harris, Pickett, and Smith. And in the secondary, 2 veterans at corner. Bryant and Townsend, Andre Short, and Kelvin Sigler, the safeties. 3rd down, Tennessee. Line to make is out at the 42. They come off the other corner on a blitz. Manning delivers. The ball is short. Incomplete at the 33. And listen to this hand for the defense. Chris Hogue to punt. Richard is the man back deep. You could see his numbers. It is 4th down and 18 on a 3-and-out for the Volunteers. They're coming after him. Gets his kick away. This is a dandy kick. All the way back to the 25-yard line is Richard. And he's going to be hammered down as he crosses the 25 to the 26. There is a marker, and that is back at the 13.
Running into the kicker, a 5-yard penalty.
Al Ford, our referee tonight.
Philip Fulmer going to deny this penalty. Here's the running into the kicker. Only a 5-yard penalty, Ron, so they like the punt that they had. They feel like it was pretty good field position, so they'll take it.
Dixon is the man who you could see he got bumped into him by his teammate. So the Crimson Tide gets an opportunity to go on offense. And this offense has been much maligned during the first 5 games, Mike.
Well, I think you'll see him go back to Alabama football and they'll go in the I formation and run the football.
Alexander comes to the left side. This is Curtis. He takes it out over the 40 to the 41. Thompson and Noel on the stop. And here's the way the Crimson Tide opens it up tonight. Freddie Kitchens, the senior at quarterback. Curtis Alexander will start, but we'll see all 3. The Curtis Alexander, Sean, and also Dennis Riddle. The receivers, Calvin Hall and Chad Goss, that is, and Rod Rutledge, the tight end. Up front, this is an offensive line that has not been consistent. Certainly the most consistent is Samuels at left tackle, but Friend, Hogan, Moore, and Ray. This is a ball game also that, just like those linebackers I mentioned, they need to step it up. That's Buchanan on the catch. They will give him the completion and enough for the first down at the 47. Goodrich on the tackle. Tennessee in the down 4. Jonathan Brown, he's been outstanding. Duff, Green, and Terry rounding out that down 4. The linebackers, Little gets all the attention. Al Wilson having an all-conference year. And in the secondary, some awfully good people here. Fair and Goodrich at the corner. Torrey Noel and Corey Gaines are the safeties. The initial first down of the ball game goes to the Crimson Tide. Running play again. Curtis Alexander. Wow, he gets engulfed by Al Wilson, the man we were just talking about, a junior out of Jackson, Tennessee.
Ron, when you look at this Tennessee defense, they're last in the SEC statistically, giving up 384 yards. Now, this is a defense with a lot of athletes. And when I saw them early in the year, I thought they were as good as Florida, but they just have run into some pretty good offensive football teams. Florida, UCLA, and, of course, Georgia last weekend.
Peyton Manning on the sideline talking, I'm sure, with David Cutcliffe upstairs, his offensive coordinator, and what they'll be looking at in the next offensive series. They fake the counter trade. Kitchens got it complete to his tight end Rutledge, and he is deep in Tennessee territory at the 23, stopped by Noel. 29 yards.
Rod Rutledge is an excellent target and a good play action fake by Freddie Kitchens. Early in the ball game, set up a couple runs and come back with a play action pass. Freddie Kitchens going to fake the counter. Tennessee's linebackers lost up inside. There's Rutledge wide open down the field. Torrey Noel finally with a tackle.
So Alabama moves right down the field. They have a 1st and 10 inside the 25. Kitchens swings it out, this time to Sean Alexander, and he dropped the football.
We talked on the open about the effect of the Auburn-Florida game. I think you're seeing a little bit of it right now. It looks to me like Alabama is a lot crisper than Tennessee. Tennessee's walking around a little bit. And even though you talk about it, the effect of a game like that, they've waited for it. They want a goal of the SEC championship game, and it may have a big effect on this ball game tonight.
Adrian said on the sideline he heard a lot of the players talking about the score after it was announced. 2nd down. You see them creeping up. Are they coming? Yep, they come with the blitz. Pitch goes to Curtis Alexander. That is a great open field tackle because Corey Gaines may have saved 5 or 10 more yards.
When they got a good block on the middle linebacker, Leonard Little, out of Ed Sissom, number 33. But Corey Gaines, I think when you see, here's the block on Leonard Little, number 1. He's going to be picked up by the fullback. But now here's the safety. picking up Corey Gaines. So what Tennessee's doing to Alabama's offense, when they see him in a two-back offense, they're cheating those safeties real close to the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's third down, 11. They need to take it to the 14 to keep this drive going. And you see their season percentage just below 40 on third down conversions. Kitchens drills the pass. Incomplete. Goss drops it a little bit low inside the 10-yard line. He's disgusted. He wanted to come back and get it. Terry Fair was the guy who was covering on him.
Ron, Brian Cunningham's coming into the game, and a great story. Gene Stallings, his mother, when he was in the hospital as a high school senior, Gene Stallings called him. Eventually, he became a walk-on, and now he's the kicker for the Alabama football team.
42-yard attempt, got the distance, and he's good. Brian Cunningham, a junior out of here in Birmingham. And let's take a timeout on a fast start for the Crimson Tide as we go into the timeout. Alabama 3-0. Alabama jumps on top 3-0. Just under 10 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Goodrich back deep again for the Volunteers as Diaz will kick it off for the Crimson Tide. Left footer sends this one to the right side. Goodrich from the 5. Flag, 2 flags back at the 20. And this one's going to come back as Tennessee would have had decent field position. And again, Mike, they're going to scrimmage from deep in their own territory.
Block in the back. On the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Florida 24-10 over Auburn. And as you see at the bottom of the screen, and there was a lot of conversation. In fact, we'll get an update from Adrian. He was down there on the sideline and heard some of the conversation between the players, and then the coaches got into it with him.
Well, what they need now is Peyton Manning to come up with some big plays to just put that out of their mind.
It's Bryson at fullback. But they go straight ahead, and the tailback, Lewis, breaks the tackle and is going to take it out for what would appear to be the initial first down of the night with the Tennessee Volunteers. And let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, there was disrupted so much in pregame to the point I had players and some of the medical staff coming up and wondering about that Florida-Auburn game, looking for updates from me. When they finally announced the final score, you had players looking at each other, kind of a blank look in their face, and the coaches jumped on right away and said, guys, look, the game is right here in Birmingham. It's not back up on the plains. Keep your mind focused here.
That's a good point. It is the initial first down of the night for Tennessee. Manning, short drop, quick pass. Those are complete. That's Peerless Price. Covered up by Fernando Bryant. Had a chance to visit with him on the practice field, Mike, the other day. You were there after the Crimson Tide finished their Thursday workout, and asked him about Manning, and he said he just doesn't make any mistakes. If you fool him one time on something, he said that's the only time you're going to do it. You won't fool him twice.
And Ron, he grew up being a Tennessee fan and enrolled here in Alabama, so it's a special game for him tonight.
Second down and short. See the linebackers creeping up. This running play is not going to go very far as Lewis gets hit by Andre Short. And, of course, he's a safety, and he is right at the line of scrimmage as the ball is snapped.
Well, I'm watching Peyton Manning, and he's going to talk to Jamal Lewis because he's going to tell him the hole was up inside. Quit trying to cut it back against the grain and stay up inside.
1,671 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Third down. We need about 1.5 yards. Pitch goes to Lewis. Bryson with the block. Not going to be able to turn the corner. Smith. Also Chris Hood. And the Alabama defense is there again. Andre Short, one of the seniors on that defensive team. He's out of LaGrange. As he looks back, and Hogue will have to punt it away for the second time in the first half of this opening quarter. His first kick good for 49 yards. They've got the return on this time, and it's not a very good kick. Takes a Tennessee bounce, and on the run, this is Richard, gets as much as he can and goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So there's a timeout. Let's take it with them. 7:11 to play, opening quarter. Alabama 3-0. Packed house, Legion Field, Birmingham, Alabama. 3-0. Alabama leads, and you can see we have 7:11 left to play in this first quarter. Freddie Kitchens, 2 of 4, 39 yards on that opening drive. Counterplay, Alexander. And Sean's going to be bumped out of bounds at the 45. Little and also Dwayne Goodrich. Mike Tirico, what do you have for us, young friend?
Ron, before we kicked there at Legion Field, we told you that Michigan State is no longer unbeaten. Antoine Jones for Northwestern blocks the kick. So 2 of the unbeatens within the Big Ten go down today, including Michigan State, losing at Northwestern.
Wow. Big stuff right there.
Ron, Northwestern, Gary Barnett's coaching as well as he's done the last 2 years. They just are outmanned, and he's doing a great coaching job.
Yeah, you're right. Congratulations to them. Tough loss for the folks from Michigan State. As Kitchen swings out the pass, Curtis Alexander had trouble corralling it, and then he takes it close to the 50 as Goodrich will make the tackle.
Well, Ron, Calvin Hall, number 83, a wide receiver, made a good crackback block on that play to spring that for any yards at all.
Good thing he caught it, too, because that was away from the line of scrimmage. That would have been a live football, Mike.
Been a lateral.
Would not have been able to advance it, but they certainly could have recovered it. Tennessee's offense on the sideline, waiting for a third opportunity. The first 2 went bust. Kitchens with a 3rd and 7 will operate from the shotgun. Steps up, ball is tipped and falls harmlessly at the 48-yard line as Curtis Alexander was the closest man to it, and we will see the Alabama punting unit.
And Ron, you go back to people when might say, well, how can a team be flat? When you look at Michigan State getting beat today, Penn State was sleepwalking in their ball game. Minnesota gave a great effort, and same thing may be happening to Tennessee here tonight. And the way you get out of it is somebody making a big play, somebody giving you the spark that you need, and usually it's going to come from Peyton Manning.
Terry Fair back to receive this punt from Daniel Pope. Don't forget Ole Miss and LSU.
Same thing.
Off the side of his foot, not a good kick, is going to go out of bounds. Wow, they're not going to get a great deal of length on this one. Well, actually, they have spotted it out around the 20-yard line. 33 yards in a kick. There's a timeout. Bama leads at 3-0 at the 6:07 mark. We'll be right back. Kevin Ramsey, the defensive secondary coach, he has just broken up a little huddle on the sideline with Dwayne Goodrich and Raynoch Thompson and Terry Fair talking about the next defensive series. By the way, Mike, the starts for Tennessee tonight, their own 32, their own 10, and now their own 20. It has not been pleasant early.
They need plays on first down. They need yards on first down.
Lewis on the ground, loses the football. It's loose at the 20, and Alabama says they have the football, and they do. Travis Smith. So Jamal Lewis, the freshman out of Atlanta, as you watch it here, he coughs it up. He just lost it.
They never had the football. Travis Smith, who was the starting fullback in 1996 for Alabama, now a linebacker with a recovery.
Tennessee's defense right back in the field, and they have their back on the shadow of that goalpost. As you look at Lance Tucker at quarterback, Alexander, that's Curtis with the carry, and he takes it down inside the 15-yard line. Tucker, a senior out of Fayette.
And he comes in every third series. I think it's Freddie Kitchen's job right now as a quarterback, but they like to bring Lance Tucker in here on the third series just as a changeup.
Would have got a big gainer on first down. It's going to be second down and about 3. About to go into 5 minutes to play opening quarter. That's Goss in motion. Curtis Alexander right up the middle. He'll have a couple. Not enough for the first down as Wilson tackles him. Now Tennessee says they've recovered a fumble. And Al Ford, the referee, says nope, it is Crimson Tide football. So it'll be third down. They need to take it to the 10.
Yeah, and this is big for Alabama because if you want to pull the upset, you got to take advantage of your opportunities, not with 3 points, but 7 points. Curtis Alexander running up in there. Alabama's returned to the running game out of the I formation, and they're giving Tennessee a little bit of a problem here early in the ball game.
Hard to tell from that picture there who knocked it out. But it was recovered by the Crimson Tide, so the situation, they lost a couple of yards, but they still have the football. It's third down, 4.5 to pick up the first.
Ron, they like the shovel draw out of this formation here.
That's what they're going to run and hit in the backfield just as the ball was pitched. It's Billy Ratliff, who has been injured, back in the lineup, and as soon as the ball was pitched, he was right there to just stuff it.
Well, as soon as you saw that formation, you knew it was either going to be a pass, some type of pass, or the shovel draw, which Alabama likes. Billy Ratliff played the shovel draw, made the tackle, forcing the field goal.
Brian Cunningham to attempt a 35-yarder from the right hash mark. It's a high pass, ball is down, and he got it. Cunningham again converts. This time from 35 yards. So there's a timeout. Let's take it with him. Alabama moves in front 6-0 at the 3:56 mark. 6-0. Alabama on top. And those co-eds approve. Let's take a look at the East standings in the Southeastern Conference. And this is the way it looks after what happened today down in Auburn, Alabama. Florida now with a 4-1 conference mark, 6-1 overall. And Tennessee, Georgia with 2-1 marks. And of course, the difficult thing was Florida winning today, and Tennessee knows it. In a head-to-head, they lost to them, so Florida would have to lose twice more for them to hopscotch and win a berth in that game in Atlanta. Right, Mike?
Yes. And Tennessee figured that Auburn had the best shot.
Diaz with the kickoff. This is coming down to Goodrich. Breaks one tackle, and he'll take it to the 26-yard line. College football next Saturday on ESPN at 12:30 Eastern. Number 5 Michigan and number 11 in Michigan State in a Big Ten battle with huge implications. Then at 7 o'clock, undefeated and third-ranked Florida State taking on the only ACC team that they ever lost to in conference play, the Virginia Cavaliers. All next Saturday, right here on ESPN.
Ron, Tennessee's got to put the ball in the hands of Peyton Manning. And first down's got to be a down where he starts throwing the football.
Well, look at this average gain on first down. Tennessee only -1. Manning sets, going to go on top. Looking deep, and the ball is tipped away by Fernando Bryant. McCullough's who he wanted.
And in the newspapers this week, Fernando Bryant was a little unhappy that they've been playing a little bit more zone at Alabama. He says, I'm a man-to-man corner. I can play with the best of them. He's got Andy McCullough covered pretty well here and punches it out with his right hand.
Mike, don't you think the reason for that is that in some areas they're a little not as quick as they have been?
Well, they've lost Myers, and that's the pass rush. If you're going to play man coverage, you better get a pass rush.
See the safety come running up there, faking the blitz. That's Dixon. He backs off. Short drop, and that's well overthrown. Undoubtedly a hot route. Nash, the intended pass receiver. We need to tell a quick story on Nash. He ran into one of the ball boys for Tennessee in the pregame warm-ups. Both went down very hard, and I think you could see around his waistline, he bruised a rib or two, Mike.
And Adrian was talking about that maybe he hurt his hip a little bit too. That's something you don't want to see in a pregame warm-up.
Wow.
Run into a manager. But the manager was hurt too.
He was. I think he's going to have surgery to see when he gets back to Knoxville. Third down. Line to make is the 36. Again, pressure off the corner. Manning's pass complete. That's McCullough. Turns it into positive yardage and a first down as he will take it out to the 46. Bryant stopped it.
Well, you can put a mark by that play because you look for big plays to get you out of the sleepwalk. Andy McCullough, that play should have been tackled and not had a first down. Andy McCullough's going to catch this football. There's the backer, Chris Horn, number 1. He's got a shot at him. You can't allow that to be a first down if you're Alabama on defense. And that's exactly what Mike DeBose is saying to Chris Horn.
From the 45, Manning zings it complete. Bryant is there to make the tackle on the play, and they are going to say that Levine has about 7 yards in the play, almost 8. Levine started the year as the starting tailback for the Tennessee Volunteers. They use him in a receiving situation.
He has great hands, Ron, and they like throwing him the ball out of the backfield, but now with Jamal Lewis at the tailback spot, they can move him outside.
Empty this time. No backs behind Peyton Manning. 5 wide receivers on second down and short. Spreads him out, blitzes on, pass thrown complete. And Copeland is going to have the first down at the 41-yard line. A short finally puts the stopper on him.
Well, when you're being blitzed, you like the little quick passing game to Jermaine Copeland. Good call by David Cutcliffe. This is Jermaine Copeland right here, the inside receiver. The other 2 receivers going to work down the field. Quick throw against the pressure, and you pick up the first down to Jermaine Copeland.
You just joined us, 6-0 Alabama. This is the deepest penetration by Tennessee tonight as we are just under 2 minutes to play first quarter. Peyton steps up, puts air into this one, had him open, and he just barely overthrew him at the 10-yard line.
Well, this is a good adjustment, Ron. I like this adjustment by Tennessee. They haven't been able to handle the pressure of Alabama, so what they do now is they go to an empty set where there's no running backs in the backfield. Spread the defense out a little bit, help your offensive line, because now they've got to move linebackers out with their wide receivers.
Speaking of wide receivers, that pass was intended for Cedric Wilson. He was a freshman. He was playing high school football at Melrose in Memphis just last year, but they like him. They think he's going to be a good one. 2nd and 10. They come from the shotgun. Blitz off the corner. Pass is complete to Copeland, and he fights his way for the first down at the 30-yard line. And that was Deshae Townsend, who was coming strong off that right corner.
See, Ron, even though Peyton Manning had his back to Deshae Townsend, he knew it was a blitz.
Defense, offside, penalty decline, first down.
This is what you don't see in a quarterback in the box score the next day. He knew it was a blitz because he saw the secondary. Now all of a sudden, here's going to be the blitz by Townsend. He's coming here. Peyton Manning knows because of what he sees in coverage here that it's a blitz. He has to unload the football quick to Jermaine Copeland.
Well, you said they had to put it in the hands of Peyton Manning. They have 7 straight passes on this drive. From the 30. Sets with a 5-stepper, throws it complete. It's inside the 20-yard line to Peerless Price, and that is another Volunteer first down.
See, a lot of teams across the country, when you sleepwalk in a ball game, they don't have a guy like Peyton Manning that can get you out of it. He is expected to get you out of it. He's the best player in college football. So he can't afford a bad ball game when his team around him's playing not up to par. So now he's the last 8 passes, so it's in his hands. You expect him to get you in the end zone.
Crowd coming to life, asking this Crimson Tide defense to bow its back. They lead 6-0. Running play straight up the middle. Bryson breaks it for a touchdown.
Set up by Peyton Manning because now he's throwing against the blitz. David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator, with a nice design drive to put a little pressure on Alabama's defense with the no back set, then hit him with a trap with Sean Bryson. Very, very nicely done.
19 yards on that run. The extra point attempt by Hall is good. And as you look at Sean Bryson on the sideline, the junior out of Franklin, North Carolina, they really crossed him up on this play, Mike.
Just hit a quick trap. Alabama figuring it was going to be a passing situation. See the linebackers from Alabama, Trevis Smith, get caught inside. Paul Pickett also caught. Quick trap, quick speed by Sean Bryson in the end zone. And it goes back again to Alabama. Alabama had a chance early. They had to settle for 2 field goals, and that's the strength of Tennessee to get the 7 on the board.
Let's go to the sideline again and check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, you and Coach both know the most difficult thing for a defensive lineman to do is pass rush over and over, much less 8 plays in a row. Those guys were dead. The defensive line for the Crimson Tide, when they came to the line for that 9th play, Peyton knew it. The defensive line was playing soft. They hit him right up the middle. These guys are really sucking air when Tennessee ran that ball into the end zone.
And Ron, this is an Alabama team that usually is deep in the defensive line. They don't have the depth they've had in the past. And remember, Michael Myers, the All-American, is not playing here. He's suspended for the year, and that loss has been a big one for Alabama's defense.
Well, it's taken away a double team on that side of the line. As you look at the Tennessee scoring drive, 9 plays, 74 yards, just over 3 minutes used. Manning 5 of 8 on that drive. From the 1, this is Fernando Bryant. Breaks the tackle. Looked as though he lost the football at the 27-yard line. And it will stay with Alabama. NASCAR action coming up tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time. The Busch Grand National Kenwood 300. Defending Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie is looking to be the first driver in a decade to win back-to-back titles. Live from Fontana, California on ESPN tomorrow.
Ron, it's too early to have a must series, but this is big for Alabama. You got to answer the other team's score, and especially if Tennessee's going to get their footing in the ground here, they need a drive.
Kitchens back in at quarterback. Sets in the pocket. Going to go long, and that's well overthrown. In fact, it is intercepted by Terry Fair. I don't know what Freddie was doing on that thing.
Now, Terry Fair, who's an excellent defensive back, gave Tennessee the ball back, and Adrian had just made the comment 5 minutes ago about the defensive line of Alabama. Well, they're back on the field again, and Peyton Manning's going to attack them again. Rutledge open, but Freddie Kitchens forced inside to move up, and the ball thrown down the field. It just is intercepted, trying to get the ball to Quincy Jackson.
This could be the final play of the first quarter. Second interception for Fair this year. Short drop, quick out pass, complete. Townsend is right there to just eat up McCullough. And the senior out of Dayton, Ohio, tosses the ball back.
Well, Deshae Townsend and Fernando Bryant give 2 very good corners to Alabama. And Curly Holman, the secondary coach, says when you call zone, they get mad because they want to play man for man, and they want the best receiver.
That is the end of the first quarter. And as they change ends of the field here at Legion Field in Birmingham, our score: Tennessee 7, Alabama 6. Terry Fair, the senior out of Phoenix, coming up with his second interception of the 1997 season as he picked off Freddie Kitchens. And that's the reason Tennessee has the ball back. Situation 2nd down and 6 at the Tennessee 24. Counterplay. Lewis breaks 1 tackle, then fights his way forward to around the 27. Trevis Smith. Boy, Mike, you can see the potential this young man has. You can't arm tackle him at 230, and he has a good burst, and he is 1 tackle away from breaking almost every time he runs.
No, you're right. Phil Fulmer told us on the phone the other day he's a difference maker. He's a young back. Early in the year, they couldn't get him on the field because he didn't know the pass protections. But with the 2 open dates, he's ready to play.
3rd down and 3. They need to take it to the 30. Peyton with a short drop. Throws it to McCullough. They have the first down as he breaks 1 tackle, now 2, and up close to the 40 as Sigler and Stanley finally finish him off, but he gains 12.
Missed tackles again by Alabama's defense. Tito Smith, 89, missed another tackle that may have kept that ball from being a first down.
I'm a little surprised looking at that tie between NC State and North Carolina that Carolina is, I know they start slow sometimes, but I'm surprised that State is still with them right now.
They're a slow starting team, and Michael Cain's fighting for his job. It's at North Carolina State tonight, so it's got to be a very emotional football game.
Quick count. Bryson right up the middle. virtually the same play they scored on as they'll take it to the 45, and Paul Pickett will finally stop in.
Well, you go back again. The last drive, how many plays Tennessee took the ball right down the field. Then you come back on offense, and you want your offense to stay out there, not commit a turnover. First play turnover. Your defense is back on the field again facing this Tennessee offense. And Mike DuBose knows he's got a problem right now in defense.
We'll see Townsend back off the line of scrimmage. This is Lewis. Takes it to the right side, close to the first down at the 48. Short is the man who came up from that strong safety position to tackle him.
Andre Short is the safety. Now, Peyton Manning and David Cutcliffe up in this press box is going to all of a sudden see that the safeties are cheating up, making plays at the line of scrimmage. So they're going to try to hit him with some type of dig in front of him or play action pass behind him to try to slow down him from Andre Short from getting involved in the running game. You've got to be able to keep the safeties out of there.
Two tight ends. Power I set Tennessee on the 3rd down and 1. And there's movement on the right side.
Line 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Coleman, the freshman out of Clarkston, Georgia, you could see him flinch. That was just enough.
Looked like he moved his arm. Just moved his arm and tried to set his arm. Right tackle, number 52. He moves his arm there, and
When you're 6'5", 320, that's
Your
not
arm.
just a little movement. That's a lot of movement.
that's a big arm.
So now 3rd down and 6. Short drop, quick pass, throws it complete, and Copeland is going to be short of the first down, I believe, by about a half a yard. Stanley tackled him, wouldn't allow him to go any further downfield.
Well, now this is going to be an interesting call because Philip Fulmer knows he's got Alabama back on their heels a little bit. I'm not so sure I wouldn't go for this if it's real close a 4th down situation, because he's got him set back a little bit. He knows his offense is punching him in the nose, and he may take a little gamble here. Ordinarily, you'd punt it away. I think I'd go for this, Ron. Ordinarily, I'd punt it. I'd say punt it, but he's got this defense of Alabama reeling. He's going to punt the football. No, they're going to go with 2 tight ends.
Yep, they sure are. Bryson checks back into the lineup.
And now what Mike DuBose is yelling into his defense, be smart now, don't jump off sides. Don't let Peyton Manning draw you off on the count. You figure it's got to be a quarterback sneak with Peyton's size.
4th down and the quarterback sneak. It would appear that Manning has it. Hanks is down at the bottom of that stack along with Travis Smith.
You look in the coaching manual. The coaching manual says punt, but there's times in a ball game where you know you got the edge and you got a feel, and that defense is reeling, and that was a good call by Philip Fulmer, if he made it. And I think he did make it.
Well, Manning, 6'5" and close to 220 pounds, used his power and his height to take it a little bit further forward and pick up the first down.
Now that's a mental downer for the defense. Now you expect maybe to come back with a play action pass and try to bomb him right here. You got him down a little bit mentally. Let's see now if he attacks him through the air.
Eric Curley, and look at him, the senior out of Birmingham, as he lines up at that defensive tackle spot. Play action by Manning, and throws him out on the near sideline and has it complete. That is nicely done to Marcus Nash. Deshae Townsend with the cover on the play.
Now they've got mix, Ron. Now they're getting good play calling and good mix, and this offense is hitting on all cylinders.
7-6 Tennessee leads. We're about to go under the 11-minute mark until halftime. As the Volunteers kind of sputtered in the first 3 series tonight before they were able to kind of turn up the mixture a little bit. Manning gets it away quickly, has it complete. Nash breaks the tackle inside the 25, 20, and down to the 14-yard line. Townsend is the man who tripped him up.
Yeah, Ron, they're getting ready to put a dagger in the heart of Alabama here. And again, defensively, it's a tired defense. You see Chris Hood, number 34. They're not able to get any pressure on Peyton Manning. Good pass protection. Now the throw and the missed tackle by Deshae Townsend.
That was Townsend who missed the tackle, and with that good second effort is Alabama quickly trying to get one more player on the field. It was Kenny Smith who came on late. They rolled the pocket, ran right by Hood, and Manning's pass incomplete, but a flag is thrown at the 3-yard line.
It's got to be holding. I think it's got to be holding on Alabama in the secondary. Peyton Manning avoided the rush, avoided the sack.
Well, he did. He ran right by Hood.
Let's see if it is holding.
Defensive holding, be half the distance from the line of scrimmage, plus an automatic first down.
What happens, Ron, when you're playing man coverage and all of a sudden the quarterback breaks out of there and the receiver starts to scramble rule, some defensive backs grab out, and I believe that was the call in the secondary here.
So the new line of scrimmage, the 7.5-yard line. Tennessee leads by 1. They're trying to tack on 7 more. Lewis, left side, inside the 4, and he's down to the 3. Stanley stopped him.
Jamal Lewis had that fumble early in the ball game. Philip Fulmer going right back to giving the football because he's the future. He's the running game future. He was the most valuable player in the Georgia All-Star game this summer. He was the SEC Player of the Week last week against Georgia, gaining 232 yards rushing. So he is a back for the future for Tennessee.
Well, let's see if they give it to him again, Mike. Just outside the 2. We're under 10 minutes in his opening half to play. Up, they give it to Bryson, and the fullback is in for his 2nd touchdown of the night. So Peyton Manning and company, after giving up the first 6 points, his Tennessee teammates to Alabama on 2 field goals, now have answered with back-to-back touchdowns, trying to go in front, 14-6.
Well, that's the ability of an All-American quarterback to rally your football team when things aren't looking good.
Ball to the extra point. He's got it. Timeout on the field. 9:43 left in our 2nd quarter. Tennessee 14, Alabama 6. We'll be right back. Well, Smokey is smiling. I mean, that's a hound dog smile if I've ever seen one, and he should be. 14-6, his club on top. The defense for Alabama, 20
straight plays. In the middle was the interception, but 20 plays they were on the field against Tennessee's offense.
Only 11 of those plays coming on this drive, and an 80-yard scoring drive. This is Richard with the return, and he'll take it out to the 24-yard line. And Adrian, let's check in with you.
Ron, I've been keeping a close eye on the defensive captain for Tennessee, Leonard Little. What we're seeing here is an ongoing experiment that actually began back in spring ball. He's playing 2 separate positions tonight. Sometimes as middle linebacker, that's why he started in the program, but also in a 3-point stance out at defensive end. They still don't know how to get the most out of this player. Is it creating these one-on-one mismatches with the Alabama center, or the mismatches with the running backs when they go into pass protection? Keep an eye on him here, guys.
Okay, he has 3 tackles so far in this game tonight. As you look at time of possession, Kitchens on the play action, that one is overthrown to Rutledge, but because Kitchens was just getting ripped apart by Sean Ellis, who was applying the pressure.
And Sean Ellis is an outstanding young football player that when we did the Texas Tech game, they said he's just getting better and better every week. Puts a lot of pressure on Freddie Kitchens.
He's out of Anderson, South Carolina, only a sophomore.
Go back to Leonard Little, and I think it's been a tough experience for Leonard Little. Leonard Little plays best when he works against an offensive tackle, but he thinks his future in the pros may be as a linebacker, so he wanted to play the linebacker position.
Kitchens pass in and out of the hands of Quincy Jackson. And that thing cutting in front, speaking of Little, he almost had a pickoff. It kind of went through his hands, didn't it?
And see, again, I don't think he has the feel yet for the linebacker position. I think it's going to take a little bit longer for him to get a feel. He's saying right there, you know, it went right through my hands. Leonard Little, the eyes of Leonard Little. Now he's dropping back in zone coverage. The ball's thrown, just didn't get his hands up quick enough.
Well, sometimes I think those visors are a little bit harder to see out of. Alabama 0 for 3 on third down conversions. Here comes the pressure. Kitchens pass, puts some air under it, and he overthrows a wide open Sean Alexander. And the difficult thing about this situation right here, 3 straight passes, and that defense has got to come right back on the field.
Yeah, we made it a point, the 20 plays that they've had defensively. Now you're going to go back and face the nation's best quarterback right back on the field. 3 and out, get time for a drink of water, and you're back on the field.
Daniel Pope, sophomore out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Pressure was on him, but he gets it away. This is a deep driving spiral. Terry Fair all the way back to the 28-yard line. And then there's excellent coverage by Alabama as they will tackle him at the 36. So there's a timeout. Let's take it with them. 48 yards in the kick. 8 on the return. Back with more from Birmingham after this. Tennessee leads it 14-6. For the 3rd straight year now, Burger King will recognize outstanding student athletes through the $1 million Burger King College Football Scholarship Program. Tonight's Burger King students of the game are from Tennessee wide receiver Peerless Price, a junior marketing major with a 3.06 grade point average. And from Alabama, Clint Wagoner, a sophomore defensive end with a 3.94 GPA in biology. This is the best starting position when they have taken the ball over for Tennessee tonight. They opened the first 3 times tonight at the 20, the 10, and the 20. None were good. Then they got it going.
And Ron, the first 2 drives, they averaged a -1 yard on first down, but now they've had more success. The last 2 drives, they're averaging 4 yards on first down. So first down, key down for Alabama's defense.
Pumps it once, goes on top, got him open, and he threw it too far. McCullough would not have been able to stay in bounds when he made that catch. Mike, I want to make one mention here before I forget it on the night. Dude Hennessy, longtime coach, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and a huge fan of Alabama, underwent surgery on Friday. He's recovering in the hospital, and talking with some of the Alabama people, they know he's watching tonight, and they just want to send along their best and speedy recovery.
A great football coach, assistant to Bear Bryant, a very, very well-liked member of the Alabama athletic family.
2nd and 10. Lewis, left side, has 5, spins off, has 10. He's loose at 15 and finally caught from behind after 2 more spin moves. And that's the reason, as you see, the last 2 weeks he has been running wild. He gives you power, balance, quickness, and also straight ahead speed.
Ron, he gives you everything you want in a back. And I think what you're seeing now is a tired Alabama football team. Look at the missed tackles. When you get tired, you start to try to arm tackle. And when you arm tackle a guy like Jamal Lewis, 220, which you noted, he's going to run right through your arm.
Nice block by Bryson on the play. Gain of 20 on that run. Manning, right over the middle, throws it complete. There's a marker down. In fact, 2 in the secondary. 1 at the 20 and 1 at the 25.
12 men on the field. That's where that comes from. I've seen more of that this year. Illegal participation. They got 12 on the field.
Tennessee has a player down back at the 45.
Still couldn't stop that throw.
That's Spencer Riley, who is down on his knees, the left guard, sophomore out of Newmarket.
The defense had 12 men participating in the play. 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
The embarrassing thing is he still was wide open.
That's what I was saying. They still couldn't stop him. But that's a safety has to look and see and count every now and then. Just like your quarterback on offense has to know how many men's on the field. The safety has to do that on defense. He has the best view to do that. people wonder how that can happen. Somebody just comes in without going up to the guy he's replacing and saying, I'm in for you. He just comes in. Now Alabama's going to waste a timeout here.
Carroll turns to the officials as we want a timeout, so they head to the far sideline to talk with Mike DuBose. We'll take the break with him. Volunteers lead by 8.
University of Alabama.
And we're back at Legion Field in Birmingham. We mentioned that Spencer Riley, the left guard, was injured. He came to the bench, and Robert Poole, a senior out of here in Birmingham, has come in replacing him, number 65. Travis Carroll, the freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. You hear the elephant recording go off in the background to get the Crimson Tide faithful reared up and going. I tell you what, if we could stick that graphic up one more time for people who have just joined us on first downs in this football game, to show you how the domination of Tennessee.
Before the ball was snapped, movement by the offensive line, 5 yards, still first down.
13-2, and Alabama got the 2 first downs on their opening 2 drives. They kicked 2 field goals to go in front 6-0, and I'd be willing to wager you that Tennessee has come up with 13 straight or at least 12 straight first downs since then.
Yeah, they've controlled the ball game since the field goal by Alabama to put them up 6-0.
You see Townsend backtracking. Manning sets deep, zings the pass, incomplete, just off the fingertips of his receiver on the near sideline, Copeland.
Good coverage by Deshae Townsend, number 2, the corner. Talked about early the Florida-Auburn ball game, the effect it has on Tennessee. Tennessee wants to, of course, the goal was to be in the alliance and to play in the playoff game. And losing to Florida early in the year like they've done in the past kind of takes them out of it. So they're looking for somebody to help them.
There's a look at Leonard Little on the bench just a moment ago. There's unmistakable eyes of his. There's the blitz. They go with the draw play. And Lewis caught from behind by Sigler, who was the blitz man. I thought he was close to offside, but the official said he timed it just right. No flag.
I think he timed it up just perfectly. He was able to get into the backfield and then flatten up and make the tackle on Lewis. It's a big third down for Alabama's defense. They need to force them into a field goal attempt.
But if nothing else, just to let those kids go over to the bench and get a breather. Hood, Curley. There's Deshae Townsend. Third down at 14. Line to make. He's down at the 17 of Alabama. Manning's pass. Got him there. Complete at the 5. Touchdown, Jermaine Copeland. Peyton Manning turned to his running back and told him who to block. To the left side where the blitz was coming. Chris Hood was trying to put pressure on the other side, but no one could get to Peyton Manning. Hall with the extra point attempt. He's got it. So let's take a break. 7:12 left until halftime at our new score. The Volunteers 21, Alabama 6. 21-6, Tennessee on top as Andy McCullough nearest you, and the gentleman with the towel around his neck is Jermaine Copeland, who just scored the 3rd touchdown of the night. And this kickoff, Richard, is going to go down to one knee, 3 yards deep. Mike, we talked about the plays that the defense of Alabama has had to play. As you watch Manning looking upstairs, look at this. The last 29 plays, Alabama has had 3 snaps. Tennessee 26, and they've scored 3 touchdowns. Well, they've got away from running the football. They've tried to throw the football, tried to get back in the ball game, and they weren't successful. They had to turn over, and then Tennessee's right back on the field. Now they need a series here to give their defense a rest. Alexander. This is Sean still fighting his way as they go with a running play to keep it on the ground and run the clock a little bit. And let's check with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Ron, it's a rainy night over on the Deuce and in Raleigh, so we can't emphasize enough how great this field goal was by Brian Schmitz. A 51-yarder. It's the first field goal he's made all year. He's the long-distance kicker. Tar Heels lead by 3 mid-third.
Wow. Long distance indeed. On a dry field, that's a heck of a field goal. 6:30 left until halftime. You see Tennessee all of a sudden in control of this one as Alexander tries to turn the corner. They're going to knock him down. Curtis couldn't get away from Al Wilson and Torrey Noel. And now the defense of the Tennessee Volunteers really beginning to get the feeling as well.
Well, John Chavis and Philip Fulmer both said that Al Wilson's having an all-American type year. Has 45 tackles coming into this ball game. You see number 27, the ability to run down Curtis Alexander. Torrey Noel also in on that tackle. Big third down play here. Otherwise, your defense is back in the field.
That's what I was going to say, Mike.
5:49 on the clock.
Will be 3 and out for Alabama again if they can't get something here. Kitchens from the shotgun. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to be sacked at the 10 by Noel.
I think Freddie Kitchens makes a mistake on this play, Ron, because I believe that his receivers are all to the left. And I think what he's trying to do, the back out of the backfield, work the back versus a linebacker. He has a single receiver on this side. Now he gets flushed out of the pattern, and he gets all the way over here, and his receivers are back to the far side.
Daniel Pope standing in to punt a couple of yards deep in the end zone as we go under 5 minutes to play in this first half. Fair, and it's returnable. And the 45 gets one block and is going to be tripped up at the 45-yard line. So it's 44 yards on the kick and nothing on the return. And as we said, the defense of Tennessee beginning to feel it, just like their offense in the last quarter and a portion.
Ron, here's the touchdown. Peyton Manning's eyes, and here's what he sees. He's looking up at the corner right here. And when he gets him turned, stop it right there if you can. He gets him turned right there. Now the receiver, Copeland, is far out in front of the corner. He's going to see this turn right here. He gets him turned, the corner gets turned, and now the ball's thrown downfield. That was number 13, Bailey. He got his hips turned a little bit on the receiver. Peyton Manning saw it, hit him for a touchdown pass.
Bryson on that carry right there. He'll take it for a couple.
USC 20, Notre Dame 17.
You can hear the cheer go up here at the stadium as John Robinson's Southern Cal team surprised Notre Dame this afternoon, 20-17.
I doubt that there are a lot of Southern Cal fans here.
They fake the draw. Manning deep over the middle, got his man and couldn't hold on. Townsend with a nice defensive play and Peerless Price. Peerless had it right on his fingertips and he just knocked it away from him.
Here's been the difference in this ball game. Third down, Peyton Manning's been able to deliver, and the Alabama offense has not been able to deliver. Now here's another third down play. Let's see if Peyton Manning can keep the sticks moving.
Just over 4 minutes until halftime. 3 of 6 on third down conversions for Tennessee in this opening half of play. Manning drills it. First down, Tennessee. And that's Cedric Wilson, the freshman out of Memphis. And let's check in with Adrian.
Ron, from behind the Crimson Tide bench defensively, these guys are in a damage control frame of mind right now. There are at least 6, maybe 7 other blitz packages that they installed for this game, but they're afraid to use them. That is the defensive staff, because of the personnel that they're sending in there. They want them to get comfortable at least with what they're seeing so far, but at least they wouldn't have anything else to lose if they would send in maybe another one of those 2 blitzes, but they've only used 2 of the 8 so far.
Inside handoff goes to the fullback. Bryson hit by Panks. and he'll have short yardage. But again, Tennessee continues to keep Alabama honest with that turn and quick handoff to the fullback.
Yeah, good play calling because they've been able to run inside, throw the football, play action. But you know, I was just trying to think of this Alabama defense. If you took Peyton Manning out of the Tennessee offense right now, how much it hurt? Well, that's the same kind of effect it had on the Alabama defense to lose Michael Myers.
You're right. Short drop, quick pass. Nash is right there, and he'll have another Tennessee first down. The gentleman you just looked at in the booth, of course, is David Cutcliffe. We've all become very familiar with David over the years, the offensive coordinator, and he's an Alabama man. But he has been at Tennessee now for what, 16 going on 17 years, and Knoxville is home for David and for his family, and has been for a long time.
On that beside him, that's Mark Bradley, the offensive line coach. And so you got the offensive coordinator David Cutcliffe, you got the line coach Mark Bradley, and the offensive line couldn't be playing any better than they're playing tonight.
Hayden's pass got it complete at the 15-yard line to Marcus Nash. Deshae Townsend on the cover, and right now Tennessee's just making it look like a workout, like an exhibition.
Ron, here's another reason why Peyton Manning's the best quarterback in the country, because a lot of guys wouldn't even try to throw this football. This is well defended. Andy McCullough, you see Deshae Townsend, but that takes an art to get that ball in there. Peyton Manning, good feet, footwork, good eyes, gets the ball right into Andy McCullough. Good velocity on the football.
Manning's pass flag is down. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Now Tennessee a step back 5 yards.
Illegal motion, moving at the snap against this team. 5-yard penalty, repeating first down.
Peyton Manning, Ron, when you look at things, fast into his drops. He's as fast as any quarterback I've ever seen from center back to 5-step, 7-step. Head's always on a swivel. Always looking for the open receiver. Tremendous velocity, but with great touch.
See what he comes up with here with a first down at 15. Short drop, drills the pass, and should have been caught by McCullough. Andy had it in and out of his hands and possibly was wondering what kind of move he was going to put on Townsend to get on down the sideline, and he dropped it.
And to finish that, completes passes. Nobody else tries. When you see a defender sometimes on a receiver, a lot of quarterbacks will get off. Peyton Manning will find a way to get it in there. Pride in his ball handling. A lot like Boomer Esiason in pro football. Takes a lot of pride in faking with the football. Complete preparation. He takes it from the meetings to the practice field to the game as well as any quarterback ever has.
Well, he was 7 of 11 for 67 yards in the first quarter. He is 8 of 12 for 127 and a touchdown here in the second. Drills it complete at the 12. Peerless Price this time, his selected receiver. And again, Deshae Townsend, we knew he would be a busy guy tonight.
And they've been on the field again. You talked about those 29 plays. Add about 6 or 7 more onto that. And that defense is still on the field. And Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator for Mike DuBose, he's got to be frustrated right now trying to find something that he can get Freddie Kitchens and the offense to be successful with.
Third and 7. Puts some air under it, and it's just overthrown. Intended for Copeland.
Exactly what Peyton Manning sees on this play. He looked to the left side. He has no backs in the backfield. He likes this matchup right here versus Copeland. He's going to try to hit him on the fade. But just put a little bit too much air on the ball. Picked out the right receiver, Ron. Just couldn't get him the ball.
29-yard attempt by Hall. Good pass, and it's blocked.
Chris Hood looked like number 34.
So Tennessee is finally thwarted after 3 straight possessions and scoring drive.
And you need a big play. Chris Hood is one of 12 boys in his senior class, small high school class, and Alabama signed 3 out of those 12. Number 34, Chris Hood with the block. Randy Ross, the recruiting coordinator, said he'd go around speaking about his recruiting that year, and he says we got 25% of our recruits from one school.
Well, he's from Town Creek, and it seems like every 4 years, Alabama has at least one player from Town Creek.
Well, they've had some great ones from there also.
Kitchens looking. Did he catch it?
Great
yes.
catch.
Wow. What kind of concentration by Buchanan. And Sean Ellis was just all over Kitchens.
Yeah, Shamari Buchanan just kept his feet in bounds. Great concentration, like you said. Made that catch. Freddie Kitchens waited till the last second. There's nothing open. Good coverage. Sean Ellis chasing down Freddie Kitchens, but he was able to get enough on that ball. What a great catch. Boy, they needed that first down.
That's their first down this quarter. We have 54 seconds left until halftime. Kitchens pass. Well off the mark. And let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Ron, quick reminder, the Buick Century halftime report is coming up. The stories, Chris Lee and Kirk from Auburn. The recap of the Florida-Auburn game. Also, Penn State. Are they still number 1? Should they still be number 1 after what happened today? And Nebraska putting itself in position in case things change. We'll see you at halftime. Guys?
Okay, Michael. I think the Alliance got terribly fortunate today, because I think Nebraska's going to move into first place on Monday, Mike. 48 tick showing on the clock. Little gets away from his blocker. Pass is thrown complete to Sean Alexander, and he breaks it open. Crosses the 50, and he's down to the 46. The ball came loose, and he got back on it. That ball was still alive as he launched it and then got back on the loose football.
Sean Alexander's an excellent receiver out of the backfield. We watched the great game he had last year against LSU at Baton Rouge, and he comes up with a big play for Freddie Kitchens in the Alabama offense.
Oh, that night they should have put an S on his chest. He would have broke the all-time rushing single-game record.
Just a little option route where they're working Sean Alexander versus Al Wilson, the linebacker, but it's yards after the catch. That's important here.
Well, I'm not sure. It almost looked like the ground caused the fumble, but they said it was alive, and the ball is marked forward to the 44. Well, coming up on Monday night at 7:30 Eastern, NFL Prime Monday. Join Mike Tirico and company for 90 minutes of nonstop NFL news, features, and analysis, leading you up to ABC's Monday Night Football. And this week, Thurman Thomas leads the Buffalo Bills into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Monday night at 9 p.m. on ABC. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten coming to you from Legion Field in Birmingham.
Ron, what a great job coaching today by Steve Spurrier. To start the freshman, and he brought Brandeis off the bench, and the fifth-year guy who's been a walk-on there delivered big for Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, he really did. You know, don't be surprised if Florida goes back on another 25-game winning streak. That pass caught by Buchanan. Looks for a spot to run there. Will be none as Fair makes the tackle. Alabama has one timeout left. Clock is at 19, now at 18. Kitchens will spike it to stop the clock. I'm sure they'd like to get one more completion, use that timeout to set up the field goal if nothing else.
Mike DuBose in his first year, we talked to him the other day phone. He said he's been disappointed in the way things have gone here early. He says, I'm an alumnus. Nobody expects more out of this Alabama football program than Mike DuBose.
You know what, I thought one of the really good points that he made, and as far as what an honest and upfront guy he is, Mike said, you know, don't point the finger at the players, point it at me because it's my job. But he said, we really need to win this football game Saturday night just to earn the right to be called a team, because we haven't come together yet. We haven't played as a team.
Well, he's learned from Bear Bryant. Bear Bryant was a guy who never blamed his players. He always took the fault, and he always took the blame for anything that ever happened. And when they won, he always gave it to the players and the assistant coaches. Mike DuBose learned from him. But he's got a football team here a little short of talent right now. Recruiting-wise, they've got to beef it up a little bit, get a little bit more speed, and help themselves on defense.
Tennessee has a player who's shaken up, and we have been unable to get a number. Now we can. It's Al Wilson, the junior out of Jackson, the linebacker, and boy, that is either a right ankle or a right knee, and you can tell it he can't put any weight on that thing. We've mentioned that the coaches said he has been having just an all-star year.
All-American. They felt like he's playing at Tennessee on defense like an All-American.
We'll get a report on him. A clock shows 14 seconds left until halftime. And as we mentioned, the Crimson Tide with one timeout left. Tennessee leads it 21-6. Kitchens steps up, drills the pass to the end zone. Went right through his hands. Good heavens, Alexander. Sean had it just go right between his palms.
Should have had it. Looked like he lost it somehow. Got his eyes. Couldn't find the football. Went right through his hands. And in fairness to Freddie Kitchens, now he threw this football. This should have been a touchdown. Put some air under it. You're going to see Sean just couldn't find the football. They're going to try to take one play, get a little bit closer around, and set the field goal up. And then also, to fairness to Freddie Kitchens, he lost Michael Vaughn, his go-to receiver, with an injury. So he's playing with a depleted injury.
Fourth down, 6 seconds to go. No field goal unit on the field. They will go for it. Kitchens, pressure is on. A pass thrown short. Little with the pressure, and Leonard Little caused him to throw the ball much quicker than he wanted to.
And that's what he does best. Rush the passer against an offensive tackle. Leonard Little down now. Number one, coming from the top of your screen, puts a hit on Freddie Kitchens. Didn't allow him to throw that completion.
You know, one other thing, maybe in the defense of Sean Alexander in the missed reception a moment ago, he also glanced forward. He didn't know where that goalpost was, and you can't blame him for not wanting to go one-on-one with the goalpost. As you look at Wilson being carted off the field, taken to the Tennessee locker room, and that does not look good. Clock runs out. We are at halftime, and as Peyton Manning sprints to the locker room, if he's not smiling, he should be. Our score, Tennessee 21 and Alabama 6. Now with the Buick Century halftime report, let's join Mike Tirico. Mike. Volunteers lead at 21-6, and in that first half, the leading tackler for Alabama, a safety. That's not good news for the Crimson Tide. And Mike, as far as Peyton Manning is concerned, he's off to an awfully good fourth start against the Crimson Tide.
Ron, 16 for 25 for 193 yards, but he took control of the offense. The Tennessee team sleepwalking a little bit, and all of a sudden he took over. And he does a lot of little things here. The little quick three-step drop. He caught the little safety, turned with his hips, hit him for a touchdown, changes the play right here, gets Tennessee out of a bad play into a big play. Again, in control of the offense entirely, a coach on the field at quarterback. And Ron, looking at Alabama, they have 6 yards rushing. They had to come into this game running football, and they haven't been successful.
Freddie Kitchens walking the sideline as his club's got a lot of offensive work to get done here in the second half. And this kickoff's going to go 5 yards deep. And the Crimson Tide will just go ahead and take it over on the 20. That was Fernando Bryant. Here are the numbers in the first half. What sticks out most of all, other than possession time?
2 things right here. 6 yards rushing, and then 0 for 6 on third downs. They haven't been able to keep the chains moving. They haven't put pressure on Tennessee's defense, and in reverse, they put pressure on their own defense, not getting first downs.
You can see the Crimson Tide 0 of 6 on third down conversions. Pitch goes to Curtis Alexander. Turns the corner, breaks one tackle. That was little that he got by. And Corey Terry finally pushes him out of bounds. Let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, get used to seeing that type of play selection on 1st and 2nd down now in the second half for Alabama. Mike DeBoe says, here's our game plan. Basically 2 words, ball control. On 1st and 2nd down, use the Alexander boys and Dennis Riddle to set up the run, then the pass. Get those guys to come up in the 8-man front. Tennessee on defense, that sets up the play action. They figure pass protection really is their strength here in the second half. That's what they're going to go for.
All righty, we'll look for it. 21-6. Tennessee on top in this one. And biggest thing for Alabama is to get something working right now and get back in this football game, the scoring drive. It looked like a mix-up on that one. Curtis Alexander got out there to make the handoff, but it was not a smooth transition.
Well, you made a point early. Now, Adrian's talking about they're going to come out and run the football, but unless you can control Torrey Noel, number 9, and Corey Gaines, number 30, you're running against 8, 9 people, and it's going to be very, very difficult. Those safeties, Ron, whenever they see Alabama, looks like whenever they see him in an I backfield, tight end into the game, they cheat a little bit closer to stop the run.
Quick pitch goes to Curtis Alexander, finds a hole, puts a head down. He's over the 35 to the 36. That will move the chains. And also it brings the crowd back into the game as Gaines puts the stop on it.
Well, you know, Curtis Alexander wants to play against Tennessee. He's from Memphis. He was a 1993 Tennessee Class 3A Mr. Football. So you always like to play against those teams where you come from. And so it's special meaning tonight in this ball game.
And it's a difficult situation to know who has the hot hand when you got 3 running backs like Riddle, Sean Alexander, and Curtis Alexander. They fake the counter, pass well overthrown. Buchanan, the intended receiver, and Freddie Kitchens wasn't even close on that one.
No, but he's lucky he wasn't close because very, very good coverage by Tennessee. Looked like Terry Fair was right on the receiver. Excellent coverage. Again, you go back to Michael Vaughn. He was the player that the receiver that was Freddie Kitchens' go-to guy. Got hurt in the preseason. They lost him for the year, and just been a tremendous loss for Freddie Kitchens in this offense.
Freddie, of course, a senior. He's out of Atala. Curtis Alexander, 3 yards on the play. Sean Ellis down at the bottom of the stack. And I'm glad to say that number 27 is back out on the field. Happy to report that Al Wilson, who was shaken up in the first half, able to come back and play because, boy, that's one of those kind of losses that Tennessee can ill afford.
Give the team doctor and a trainer a star on their forehead because he didn't look like he was going to play at all.
No, when they rolled him off in the cart, I thought, hey, write him off for the rest of the night.
He might just wanted to ride off the field at halftime.
Well, so Mike Rollo is the trainer, and so put a star there with Mike Rollo. Kitchens got the pass away, and he was hit just as he let it go. Wilson and Noel combining to make the hit on him on 3rd down. So they moved the sticks once, but they won't move them twice in this opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Well, Al Wilson made the trainer proud here. Number 27 is going to come on a blitz. Picked up by the guard, then he lets him go, and he hits Freddie Kitchens just as he releases the football.
Daniel Pope waiting back at the 25. Tennessee's got the return on, and this is not a real long kick. Fair at the 26. Gets by 1, gets by 2, then pushed out of bounds at the 35. 36 yards in the kick and 9 on the return. Well, coming up next Saturday on ESPN2, the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. Ron Dayne leads Wisconsin against Minnesota from the Metrodome at 12:30 Eastern. The Gophers gave #1 Penn State a major scare today. It's game 1 of our triple header. You'll also see one of the top SEC matchups at 6 o'clock. That it's the Air Force taking on San Jose State out in the WAC. That's Lewis. Squirts through a small hole, takes it up close to the 40-yard line, short from his strong safety position, makes the tackle on him.
And with Jamal Lewis's emergence, the offensive line of Tennessee, they early in the year said to David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Last year they were 10-2, and a local sports writer in Knoxville called them inept. And that's, to me, 10-2 and 10th in total offense in the country. They're not inept, and they're doing a great job tonight.
Lewis again, left side. Nice job as he's tripped up by Short. Because if he's not tripped up there, he may have had another 10 yards downfield.
Alabama giving Tennessee a little dose of their own medicine. Andre Short, a safety, cheating up for Ellis Johnson's defense.
Short getting a pat on the headgear as he gets a breather, making a couple of quick tackles in this opening sequence by Tennessee in the third quarter. Third down, line to make is the 45. There's the pass, got it complete, and Lewis, boy, what a great one-on-one tackle, and he will not have it. That's Bailey, who comes up to make the hit.
The extra defensive backs in third down. Bailey, number 13, is going to make a great hit to save this first down. Tackled Jamal Lewis high.
He's a freshman out of Tuscaloosa.
Very good defensive back. He's made some plays in this ballgame.
Hogue 2 kicks, 44 yards tonight. They're coming after him, and he gets it away. Good hanging spiral, barely turning over. And at the 19, Richard will take it across the 25 to around the 28. So timeout on the field, 21-6. Tennessee continues to lead. Third Saturday in October 1972, late in the game, Alabama's Mike DuBose helped force this critical fumble with 3 minutes left to play. It had led to a winning score for the tie. Alabama won it 17-10. There he is today, the head coach. Interesting that both of these head coaches, former players at their respective schools. Kitchens pass overthrown. Chad Goss is who he wanted. Terry Fair with the cover.
You talked about both coaches being former players at their own school, and Philip Fulmer said the benchmark of a letter winner at Tennessee is the record against Alabama, and vice versa on the other side. Of course, you got your rivalry with Auburn. It's a big one at the end of the year, but coaches are measured, players are measured on those games.
Second and 10, you can see the shift by Tennessee at the last second. Kitchens possibly in an audible right now. And the handoff goes with Curtis Alexander. Nothing to tackle, and Leonard Little is the one who just forced it to go awry. No place. Nothing inside, nothing outside, and all of a sudden Alabama with the third down again.
And Ron, what Tennessee does on defense here is moved into defense to an 8-man front. Freddie Kitchens now has to be able to check out of that because there's no place to run. Leonard Little, the linebacker, just moves outside and makes a good play. Al Wilson, also number 27. There are just too many bodies to run against. You've got to check out of that and throw the football.
Alabama's 1 of 8 on third down conversion. Screen pass is dropped. Riddle. And the crowd is really upset because, Mike, that play was set up. It had big yardage in front of it.
They had a chance for a big play. Dennis Riddle, who has not played much tonight. It looks like that they're going with Curtis and Sean Alexander more than Dennis Riddle. Brought him in to throw a little screen pass. It was open. Just couldn't handle the football.
Didn't appear to just go after it real hard either. Fair is the deep man. Pope kick, and they got it. Blocked by Tennessee. The ball is alive. They scramble for it inside the 15-yard line, and Eric Brown is the man who recovered it for the Volunteers.
And this is slowly turning into a nightmare for Mike DuBose. Comes the pressure from Tennessee. See, it almost 3 or 4 people had a chance to block that kick. Good pressure.
Manning gives the ball to Lewis. Fight Pickett with the one tackler hanging on to him, and he'll wind up with about 3 yards as Pickett is the man who was holding on to him.
Well, you can tackle him high like Bailey did on the last series when you get him turned, but when he gets his shoulder pads and his shoulders turned upfield, not a good idea, Paul Pickett, to try to tackle him high.
He's got over double in less carries than the entire Alabama team tonight. Second down, and this one's going to be thwarted right at the line of scrimmage. Sigler coming up quickly to hit Bryson along with Marcus Spencer.
You know how tough it's got to be to play for Alabama now when you lose a couple games early in the year, and because the expectation level to Alabama is never down. You never can lose those ball games, but the players have to go to classes, the cafeteria, the community all over, and people expect high things of them. This team's playing hard. They just lack talent.
Tennessee needs to take the ball to the 6-yard line to keep it going. Got him. Touchdown, Jermaine Copeland. That's what you're talking about with Peyton Manning. To start with, most quarterbacks wouldn't throw it. Certainly most wouldn't complete it.
No, they had him doubled. I mean, here's somebody who's doubled, but Peyton Manning tried to get it in there. He got it into Jermaine Copeland, a former quarterback, for a touchdown. Pointing to the defensive man just in case he blitzes. There's the double team, the throw, high throw, Jermaine Copeland for the touchdown.
Extra point attempt is up, and it's good. And let's take a timeout. 8:02 to play, third quarter, and our new total, Tennessee 28, Alabama 6. We'll be right back.
H-Town, what's up, baby? Hey,
Jermaine Copeland on the sideline, very happy for good reason. But the pass that he was thrown was exceptional. And then he used his athletic ability to get up there and take it down.
Let's go, baby.
Fernando Bryant from the goal line. 20, breaks it open. 30, 35. Pushed out of bounds. They're going to say at the 42-yard line. Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, a key moment in the game was 10-7. North Carolina State not able to get any points in North Carolina territory. UNC goes razzle-dazzle. Oscar Davenport to Octavius Barnes. They move it in close enough for Jonathan Linton to score. They've since added a field goal. Tar Heels are going to handle the Wolfpack.
Finally beginning to blow it open, but Michael Gaines' guys giving a good account of themselves. Peyton Manning, speaking of good accounts, 2 years ago as a sophomore, came in here and threw an 80-yard touchdown pass to Joey Kent on his very first play. And he's picked it up right where he left off. Sean Alexander. It's a nice run by Sean. 15 yards, and that's the longest run from scrimmage by Alabama tonight.
And when you talk to Ivy Williams, who's the running back coach, he said if he was playing in the I formation, he'd be the best player in the country. Now they're going to a little bit more I, so you're going to see a little bit more of Sean Alexander.
Kitchens gives it off to Sean, has a blocker in front, trying to hide behind him, and he'll take it to the 39-yard line.
You're talking about blocker hiding. That's Michael Ray, number 62, 6'5", 287, so he's got plenty to hide him around.
Hiding behind the big guy from Boaz. Sean Alexander to the right side, close to the 35, and that's first down territory. Leonard Little put the stop on him, and let's see where they're going to say forward progress was. Appears to be just a touch short.
Well, we talked about the motivation of Tennessee. Obviously, a goal was to get to the playoff game in Atlanta. Florida may stop that from happening, but there is still a chance that they can get to the Alliance and at the end of the year, which is something now that they've got to play hard for, win every game, and hope they're high ranked that somebody in the Alliance will take them.
Under 6:40 to play, third quarter. Third down and 1 Alabama. Two tight ends. Sean Alexander has the first down easily.
Good drive right here now. Tennessee's adjustment will be to try to shift into an 8-man front or move Corey Gaines and Torrey Noel up a little bit tighter now, knowing that Alabama's going to run the football.
Chris Samuel shaken up on the play for Alabama. The left tackle, sophomore out of Mobile. Got his pass complete. That's Sisson. He will score. 33 yards.
They're going to go for 2, Ron. A real nice play call by Bruce Arians. Caught him in man coverage, bunched up his wide receivers, and brought Ed Sissom into the flat for the open pass.
Mike DeBoe's going to have to call a timeout because they did not have the proper personnel ready for a 2-point conversion, and you can hear the reaction of the crowd.
What a nice design play against exactly man coverage, which they expected. There's the bunch of the receivers close together. That's Al Wilson, 27, who's supposed to be on Ed Sissom. Leonard Little tries to bring him down. Ed Sissom gets in the end zone for the touchdown. They got to go for 2 here, Ron. Got to get it back to a 2-touchdown game. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. Great effort by Ed Sissom.
Samuels is obviously okay. He's back in the ball game. You can see number 60 there.
That was a good drive by Alabama. Good movement in the running game. A good pass by Freddie Kitchens.
So they score with just under 6 minutes to play, third quarter. Go with the pitch back. Sean Alexander has the 2. 14-point game. So this is the timeout on the field. Our new score, Tennessee 28 and Alabama 14. We'll be right back. Now this is definitely an aroused Legion Field in Birmingham as the Crimson Tide has cut it back to a 14-point game with a touchdown. Sissom on the 33-yard pass, and then good on the 2-point conversion by Sean Alexander. Levine is back deep for Tennessee. Levine from the 6. And he brings it out to the 31-yard line. But college football next Saturday at ESPN. Game day as always at 11:30 Eastern time. Followed by a big impact game for the Big Ten. Number 5 Michigan against number 11 Michigan State in what shapes up to be a great one from East Lansing. Then in prime time, Mike, Adrian, and I will be in Charlottesville, Virginia as the 3rd-ranked Florida State Seminoles take on the Cavaliers of Virginia. All next Saturday.
That Virginia team is very capable. Very well-coached football team, George Welsh.
Manning zings his pass incomplete. He's now 18 of 28 for the ball game, 206 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Now Peyton Manning knew he made a mistake there. He had an open receiver on the left, and as soon as he threw the football, he pointed to the other receiver, Marcus Nash, on the sideline, said, "I made a mistake. I needed to go to you." Rice out ahead of New Mexico 28-7. So they continue in the can't have to be able to play great football.
It's a tough offense to diagram and stop. Lewis, 3 yards, and now this crowd really into it. It's going to be 3rd down, Tennessee, and they need the 41-yard line. Let's check in with Adrian.
Guys, you know that this is a very, very big moment in this ball game. Very, very big for Jamal Lewis because he had that fumble in the first quarter. It has bothered him throughout this game. They want to drive down the field. That last touchdown they scored, if the situation had dictated, they wanted to get him in the end zone. But for the future, I think it's very important for him to be involved in this drive and to get a score if he can.
Well, they got to have 8 yards to keep the drive going, and they're 50% tonight, 5 of 10. Heavy pressure on Manning, and the pass almost intercepted. It'll be 4th down as Warren Faust almost picked it off.
Yeah, Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator, now taking great pains to try to pressure Peyton Manning. Warren Faust, the former quarterback, stepped in front of this pass, number 17. Warren Faust right here. He's going to step in front and almost intercept this pass. Should have had it. Good defensive series by Alabama.
It's Jamie Carter, a sophomore out of Philadelphia, Mississippi, who is shaken up. And it's either a knee or an ankle that Jamie has injured. And it's going to take some time to get him off the field because Jamie is a very large young man at 6'3" and almost 300 pounds. And his teammates are helping him up off the ground and will help the training staff get him to the sideline.
Ron, the way this game is turned around now, Tennessee's block punt on Alabama is big. Now, Alabama's got a chance to go after Tennessee's punt here.
Chris Hood came out to help carry his injured teammate off the field. Chris Hogue is waiting. And it's Richard who is backbeat for Alabama.
Warren Faust blocked the kick against Vanderbilt. See if he can get through here against Tennessee. Return on it.
Richard from the 21-yard line. And they hand off on a reverse, and it's Townsend. And Townsend's going to be tackled around the 28-yard line. Let's check in with Mike Tirico quickly. Mike?
Ron, one of the headlines from earlier today, not in the top 25. For the first time in 9 tries over 8 decades, Missouri beat Texas. Ernest Blackwell, the fullback, the 67-yard run. Both goalposts come down in Columbia after Mizzou's win over Texas.
So 37-29, the Missouri win, and I can promise you it will be a stormy week in Austin, Texas. In fact, probably this is becoming the season of storms because this is one of many that are going to really form up down there. Pass tipped in the air. Kitchens caught it, and then is going to be tackled for the loss. He'd have been much better off to just knock it down. He lost 10 yards.
Billy Ratliff, number 40, who had that spinal injury in his... They were not sure whether he'd play tonight, but he has played outstanding football. Former linebacker in high school, wanted to go to Ole Miss, came to Tennessee, deflected the ball. You're right.
Should just knocked it down.
Take it right down to the ground. Kitchens to Kitchens.
Couldn't tell if he blocked it or hit him in the head.
That's why you have a helmet on, though.
Billy did everything. Got credit for the block and the tackle. Swing pass out in the flat. Curtis Alexander. And he'll take it to the 21 as Al Wilson got out quickly to put the stop on him.
Well, we talked about Leonard Little as being the linebacker, but this Al Wilson right now is having a field day out here. He's all over this football field. As a linebacker for Tennessee, made tackles up inside. He's blitzed Freddie Kitchens. He was right out there to stop this play. He has been, as Phil Fulmer said, an all-American type player.
Third down to keep it going. The line to make is out at the 37.5-yard line. And he misses. I'm not so sure the ball wasn't tipped en route by one of the linebackers who had dropped off in coverage. So a good series for the Tennessee defense, and particularly for Wilson. And Alabama will have to kick it right back to him.
He blocked one tonight.
5 times Tennessee's defense has forced Alabama 3 and out. You can do that. That's huge in a ball game.
They've got the return on it.
Fair from the 41. Got a lane. Ran right back into Faust, and he will make the tackle as he cut it back instead of continuing down the sideline. But they've got great field position. 39 on the kick and 23 on the return. Well, plenty of golf action coming up tomorrow on ESPN. 2 o'clock, the Nike Tour Championship down the road from us in Opelika, Alabama, not far from the Auburn campus. Tour cards are on the line for golf's future stars. And then the stars of the Senior PGA Tour in Hawaii for the Hyatt Regency Maui Katapala Classic. Gigi Rodriguez, Hale Irwin, Bob Charles, just a few of the top names in the hunt. That's tomorrow. The action will be live. Manning's pass, got it complete. Inside the 30 and knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line. And let's check in with Adrian Karsten.
Jamie Carter, the sophomore right defensive tackle for Alabama, has a big bag of ice on his sprained right ankle, most probably out for the game.
Well, that's the reason Jamie was having such a tough time getting off the field. Nash now 4 catches, 64 yards. Marcus, of course, a senior out of Tulsa. Manning has Bryson this time out of the backfield. He stays on the field of play as the clock will continue to run. And Bryant on the tackle. Mike Tirico, what do you have for us?
Ron, over on the deuce in the SEC. Georgia a 3-0 lead on Vanderbilt. Extended here. Damian Allen back to pass. Orantis Grant the pressure. Ronald Bailey the scoop and the score. And the Dogs lead Music City by 10. Ron?
Okay, Mike, and not surprising, though, Mike and I talked about this game earlier today, that the Georgia offense has yet to score a touchdown on that Vanderbilt defense.
Vanderbilt defensively, they've played lights out the last couple of years, but offensively, struggling.
Lewis powers his way inside the 6 down to the 5. Bryson with a good block. That'll be first down plus about 6 more yards for Lewis. We are under 2 minutes to play, third quarter.
When he gets his pads going north and south, now he's a low Jamal Lewis. They have found themselves an excellent tailback in Lewis. They had a lot of players. They had 5 tailbacks at the beginning of the year. Weren't sure who was going to be the starter. Lewis has emerged.
Here's Lewis. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing on this one. It's going to be Reggie Grimes, one of the first men to get there and slow him up. Then Trevis Smith came over and helped out as well.
Now, we talked about Peyton Manning's ball handling. Here's where he becomes difficult to defend because of faking off the running game. Down here in a misdirection type play, getting a signal from the sideline.
Second down, under a minute to play in the third quarter. Now Manning with an audible, and undoubtedly we had movement at the line of scrimmage.
Marcus Nash, number 12. It's Marcus Nash, number 12. And right away, Fernando Bryant.
Well, Peyton and Marcus, very good friends. He went to Chattanooga, was in his wedding this summer. He said probably the most special day that he spent this summer. Had a great time. They have to hurry to get this one away, and they barely do with 1 tick left on the play clock. Pass underthrown and incomplete. So it'll be third down.
Good defense by Alabama. Kelvin Ziegler, the safety, number 20, on Mark Levine.
So coming up should be the final play of the third quarter. 5 seconds on the clock.
Copeland's been his go-to guy tonight. He's found Jermaine Copeland several times in big situations.
Pass knocked down. Good heavens, almost intercepted.
Reggie Grimes.
Reggie got up, and Peyton threw it a little too low, and he almost hit him right between the numbers.
We used that 6'5" frame, number 98.
Well, you could see what happened. The tackle was trying to chop him, and he didn't.
Well, Chad Clifton, if you're going to chop down Reggie Grimes, you've got to be able to put a little bit more pressure on his legs. He didn't do it. Chad Clifton failed on that attempt on Reggie Grimes.
28-yard field goal attempt coming from Jeff Hall, junior out of Winchester, Tennessee. He's got it. And that is the end of the third quarter. So there's a break in the action in our new score. Tennessee 31, Alabama 14. Back for the final 15 after this. Some of the packed house here at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. 31-14, Tennessee leads it. The third Saturday in October, the annual fracas between Tennessee and Alabama, bordering states. It's been a great rivalry. This is the 80th meeting between these two schools. Return from the 6th. This is Richard. Breaks it outside, and Alabama will take over with good field position. And now here comes a late flag in.
After the play was over, personal foul, defense, 15 yards, first down.
Now, let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Well, Ron, the Tennessee Volunteers are literally about to light up a tradition on the third Saturday in October that ironically was started by Paul Bear Bryant some 30-odd years ago. The winning team in this game lights up the victory cigar. Now, I'm not going to take this the whole way, believe me. And this is not your Monte Cristo #2, but it's not a bad victory smell for the guys over here on the Volunteer side.
Okay, Adrian. We'll watch that closely. Sean Alexander hit by Little and knocked down for no gain on the play.
I wouldn't pull those matches out of the pocket yet. There's still 14:36 to go on this clock.
Individual defensive players in this game. Torrey Noel for Tennessee with 10 tackles. Travis Smith with 9, Stanley with 7, and Short with 7. Sean Alexander comes off right tackle this time. He'll take it for a couple before Al Wilson tackles him.
I think in the second half, Ron, you're seeing more of what Alabama's going to do in the future with both Alexanders in the backfield and running the ball a little bit more out of the I formation, one back, and when they go to the shotgun, the split backs, they're able to hit the draw. I think this is where they'll settle down and be more of a running football team in the future.
Third down, line to make is the 40. As Kitchens works from the shotgun formation. Sets, delivers the pass in and out of the hands of Sean Alexander.
Big question now, is it early enough that you go for this on fourth down? Trailing by 17.
Well, here comes Buchanan in from the far sideline, also Curtis Alexander, and it would appear that Mike DuBose is doing just that. He's going to go for it.
If you don't make this first down, you pick up the hymnals. The church is over.
Now they tried it one time at fourth down, didn't make it. Little with pressure. Better hurry from the backside, and his pass incomplete, knocked away. Calvin Hall, the intended receiver, and it was Al Wilson who was there pressured.
He's had an outstanding ball game, and there's Peyton Manning with Freddie Kitchens.
Kitchens shaken up, and Peyton went straight to him on the field to see if he was okay. And let's take a timeout. Tennessee 31, Alabama 14. We'll be right back. Saturday in October 1985, Tennessee holds off a late Bama rally when defensive end Dale Jones picks off Mike Shula to ice the game for the Vols. Well, our situation tonight as we show 13:32 to play in the ball game. Tennessee comfortably on top, 17 points, 31-14. Manning pumped once, got him wide open. Peerless Price cuts it back inside, and he will score. .52 yards.
Caught him jumping in an 8-man front to stop. They figured it was going to be a run. He jumped into an 8-man front. Peyton Manning had the good play called. Used a pump fake, faked a hitch. He ran by Deshae Townsend. Peerless Price for the touchdown.
Peerless, as you can see, shaken up after the play. We'll get a report on him just as soon as we can. All with the extra point. He's perfect. 13 minutes, 20 seconds left in our ball game. And the new score, Tennessee 38 and the Alabama Crimson Tide 14, as this one is getting out of hand. Let's go away for a moment. We'll be back with more from Birmingham. Peerless Price is down behind that huge group of people. He injured either his ankle or his knee, and that's what the doctors and the training staff are talking with him about right now. We'll get a report exactly the extent of the injury as soon as we can. Pooch kick here. Fair catch is called for and made at the 28-yard line.
And Ron, he was hurt in spring practice, so they got him back with a leg injury. Let's look at Alabama. They're going to move Kelvin Ziegler up in an 8-man front. Now they kick it to an 8-man front situation here, which means man-to-man out here to Deshae Townsend. Look at this little hitch move, and then he runs by Deshae Townsend. Peyton Manning with the right play on against the right defense. Touchdown, Peerless Price.
Do you think he audibled to that after he saw what happened? Good heavens, what a hit. Torrey Noel.
Going back to your question, I think they had that play on, and it just fit with what Alabama did.
Torrey Noel, that should be, well, it actually won't get credit for a tackle. He had 11 just a moment ago, but that's the kind of night he's had.
Sean Alexander's had a rough night on the other end of passes. Now you start thinking, Ron, about T. Martin, the backup for Tennessee. We may have seen the end of Peyton Manning. Maybe one more series.
I think it'd be silly to get him hurt with this kind of lead. It's Duff who is down at the bottom of the stack to make the tackle.
Well, there's two thoughts that go into it. Number one, of course, the ball game's in hand right now, but the Heisman Trophy. And the second thing is this young man right here. T. Martin, number 17, has got to be the opening quarterback next year when they start the season against Syracuse. So you need to get him playing time.
Boy, the folks that came down here from Knoxville really rocking up the north end zone. They are having a good time. Pressure on Kitchens, got the pass away, and he paid for it. Curtis Alexander with a nice second and third effort, and Freddie is down again. Leonard Little just took him apart.
And that's what Leonard Little does best. Adrian Karsten talked about the matchups. When they have him at linebacker, they're matching him up usually against the running back. When they move him to defensive end, now here he goes to defensive end over here. Now he's matched up against a tackle, and no one blocks him. He had a clear hit on Freddie Kitchens.
Tennessee with a return on, best kick of the night by Pope. Fair all the way back to the 12-yard line. Return back into the boundary. He'll get what he can and then step out of bounds. And it'll be around the 25.
What's up, baby? What's up, everybody in the crib? What's up, baby? I love everybody in the crib.
Leonard Little makes plays, Ron. He's always around the football. He hasn't had a great ball game tonight, It comes off the corner. It's picked up late.
We always talk about Leonard. When you get the tight shot of him with his headgear off, that he has those eyes. I mean, you're talking about the eye of a tiger. And I always get the feeling when I look at him. He's got 5 tackles, 4 solo tonight. And that knockdown just now, Freddie Kitchens.
You better not look at it too long. He'll hit you. He is a good football player.
Manning's pass complete out of the 35. And Marcus Nash will fight it close to the 40.
Was there any doubt about Peyton Manning being the leader for the Heisman Trophy? I mean, what we've seen tonight, and what we've seen all.
So. But you know what? I will make this one point, and I'm not questioning Philip Fulmer, but I think Peyton has made his statement tonight. I think he needs to be on the bench.
I think this is it for him. I think you'll see him 3 or 4 more plays, and then he's out of there. One thing run, then next season's going to come quick. And all of a sudden, you're in that dome playing Syracuse. And you want that backup quarterback, T. Martin, to have had some experience in a ball game.
Question is, will that team from Syracuse have Donovan McNabb next year?
Good question. They rolled today. They've gotten hot right now. They're playing very good football.
We've got them in a couple of weeks against West Virginia up in the Carrier Dome. And certainly they wouldn't have their first snow of the year when we came there, would they?
Very possible.
Trying to make sure that the Sunshine Committee works on it.
Sure, tourism at Syracuse is real happy right now.
Pass complete. That's Copeland. Steps out of bounds immediately. Fernando Bryant had the defensive cover. Next Saturday, I think, Mike, is a really interesting ball game as we travel up to Charlottesville. That with Florida State coming in, I think it's one of those kind of conference games that Bobby Bowden knows that they're going to go in up there and be ready for a fight. If they're not, it'll be a long evening.
They do a good job coaching. Rick Lance on defense and Sparky Woods, now the offensive coordinator. I saw them early against Auburn, and they are a very, very good football team. Very capable.
Jamal Lewis, he's wrapped up just as he crosses the 45-yard line. Not enough for the first down. So Tennessee is going to punt it away. And take a look, because I have a feeling, as Mike said, this may be the last time that we will see Peyton Manning in action tonight. 303 yards, 6 consecutive 300-yard games.
No, it should be. It's time for the hook. Sparky Anderson. Didn't give him the hook.
Hogue gets his kick away. Hogue has been a difference maker in this football. He didn't start off the year as the punter. That's going to be a penalty. In fact, maybe more than 5. Signal for the fair catch, and then he not only bumped into him, he bumped him pretty good.
That was like a pillow fight there, really. He didn't really hit him too hard. It was a pillow fight. Travis Smith.
Rod Hayden is the man who ran into him. Yeah, Al Ford says it's going to be 15 yards. Hayden is saying, well, I didn't really do that much, but you notice he is not trying to get real close to Philip Fulmer very quickly. Jackson and Goss down to the bottom of the screen. Kitchens under pressure, and he is going to be sacked again. That's twice officially, but he has been knocked down so many times. Give Bill Duff credit for the sack. Also, Corey Terry was there.
Yeah, you can't criticize Freddie Kitchens for not throwing the football. They're covered downfield. They've got a 3-4 man rush, and they're getting to Freddie Kitchens. And you see his jersey's pulled off his left shoulder.
They're going with a hurry up here. In fact, Tennessee, the defensive players that are on the field were hollering at the other players, you know, get off here. Flag is down. I think Tennessee's Leonard Little was offsides in the play.
Well, they smell blood now, so it's like sharks in the water. Leonard Little says, I'm just offside that little bit.
Defense, offside, 5 yards, repeat second down.
So let's check in with Mike Tirico. Michael.
Well, Ron, for the folks who were at college football games today, didn't see the big scare. Penn State was in trouble, but this key situation, a fumble by Minnesota, puts the Nittany Lions in great field position and sets up a Curtis Enis 10-yard touchdown. The Nits win by 1. What will happen when the poll comes out tomorrow morning on SportsCenter?
Kitchens pass in and out of the hands of Curtis Alexander. That stops the clock. 9:03 left in the ball game.
And you think that Penn State will lose their #1?
Yep, sure
spot.
do. I think Nebraska will move up to #1. And if that is indeed the case, unless somebody jumps up big, and it doesn't appear that Nebraska has that on the schedule, the Alliance tonight is going.
Let me go on the record as believing that Penn State shouldn't lose their #1.
You don't think they
No,
should?
they won. They won the ball game. They beat Ohio State the week before.
Buchanan breaks the tackle, picks up 10 more yards. Terry Fair finally will put the stop on him. It's good for 15.
Freddie Kitchens has given a gutty performance tonight.
Tennessee with a player shaken up, but it's Terry Noel who's the leading tackler for the Vols tonight.
Freddie Kitchens under pressure, gets pass protection. This time finds Shamari Buchanan downfield. And there's the tackle, or the missed tackle by Torrey Noel, but that's where the injury occurred. Shoulder.
Pardon me? Let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron and Coach, you talk about that gutty performance. Kitchens, he's been playing hurt now the last 2 series. He took a real shot to the outside of his left knee. That is his good knee comparatively. He's had problems with that right knee in the past. Orthopedic staff checked over here for extra movement. He had a little bit of that forward and backward, but not left to right. So they said, all right, there's no cruciate ligament damage here. You can continue to go, but keep an eye on him. He cannot move laterally. Every pass he's thrown is from a direct, straight drop back.
And Lance Tucker on the sideline, watching things over. Mike Tirico, let's check in with you also.
Another update from the Southeastern Conference today. It was Auburn and Florida, and despite the lack of having the starting quarterback, the Gators were able to get the ball to Jacquez Green, who ran one, caught one, and threw one, and the Gators' 14-point win on the play.
Our situation 38-14. Clock is running again. Alabama with a first down at their own 41-yard line. Off the corner comes the blitz, and I mean Kitchens again just gets obliterated. This time it's Fred White, the sophomore out of Griffin, Georgia.
The difference in a play we saw in the first half, Alabama brought the corner. Peyton Manning read it, completed a pass. Freddie Kitchens didn't see it coming and took a real hit from Fred White.
Good thing it's not a fight with the 3 knockdown rule.
No,
We'd be out of here.
no, the towel had already been thrown in.
Right up the middle. Wilson missed him. Now Kitchens gets it away and has it complete across midfield to Buchanan. Terry Fair holding on to him, and that's enough for the first down. It's good for 13 yards. We'll talk about a gutsy performance.
Well, he really has. I mean, he's under fire. He's getting hit. He's been knocked down 9 times. Scrambling around, making throws. And Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, said that's the difference. In the last 2-3 weeks, he hasn't thrown the interceptions.
Got him right over the middle, complete inside the 40. Buchanan again. And Shamari will be tackled at the 34. 14 yards on that play.
Well, you know the pride they have here, Ron, living in this state. Alabama will be back. You know, recruiting-wise, they've already got a young man, a quarterback from here in Birmingham. He's supposed to be outstanding. The recruiting efforts are widespread, and they think they're going to have a great recruiting year.
Gerald Griffin came up and made the tackle on Curtis Alexander.
And as this time goes down, this time that T. Martin's not going to get on the field.
Pass incomplete, in and out of the hands of Hall. And again, Kitchens being helped up off the deck.
And Calvin Hall came in with 10 receptions for 140 yards. Just couldn't hold on to that one.
folks on the field as Curtis Alexander has just been running on at the last minute. But they did not get penalized, and the ball in and out of the hands of Goss. Maybe just a touch behind him, but Freddie saying, with all the duress I've been through, please hold on and catch it.
Yeah, Chad Goss came to Alabama as a walk-on quarterback, and he's emerged, talking to the coaches, as the leader of this offensive football team. Just couldn't hold on.
Well, it's 4th down now, and for them to keep this alive, they're going to have to take it to the 24. 7 drops by the Bama receivers tonight. 5 in this half alone. Kitchens going to run, and he will pick up the first down on his own. Brown and Terry flushed it. And he said, I'm just going to do it on my own, and ran for the first.
Well, he grew up in the state of Alabama. He always wanted to quarterback the Tide. Said he watched Kenny Stabler and knew the great traditions, Joe Namath, Bart Starr, the quarterback position here at Alabama. And he wanted to be a quarterback for the Tide, and he's accomplished that.
Sean Alexander spins off the tackle at the line of scrimmage. And he'll work his way to the 15.
It's Al Wilson down again, Ron. He met him in the hole. And Alexander gave him a nice little move, and it looks like Al Wilson's hurt again.
Yep, he's going to come off the field. Sean Johnson, a sophomore out of Louisville, Kentucky, comes on replacing him. I'm not so sure that Sean might not have been involved in that block of the punt back earlier. Kitchens pass. He just overthrew him. Jonathan Brown was the guy that just kept pressuring and kept pressuring.
Ron, sometimes your play call is not at the right time. The last time Alabama ran this pass, they caught Tennessee in man-to-man coverage. They tried to go back to it. Tennessee was in zone coverage, and they picked Ed Sissom up coming out of the backfield. Freddie Kitchens did the wise thing. Nobody open, throw it away.
Well, the cable pullers was not looking for that down there. Could have been disastrous.
Kitchens pass in and out of the hands of Hall. It'll be 4th down.
Well, nice block by Sean Alexander, the running back, to give Freddie Kitchens just a little longer to throw that to Calvin Hall. Haven't seen much of Dennis Riddle tonight. It's been the Alexanders.
You look at Al Wilson being attended to on the sideline. Tennessee's going to win this football game, but they got a lot of bumps and bruises to take back to Knoxville. Kitchens pass. Goss, the intended receiver. Incomplete and no flag. Corey Gaines defending on the play. So with that on the 4th down play, Tennessee will take it over. Timeout on the field. Vols lead at 38-14.
Okay. Start getting.
Now Peyton Manning has just concluded his collegiate play against the Alabama Crimson Tide. He started at quarterback 4 times. Started his freshman year. Lost that one and now has won 3 in a row. And he told me last night as they came late yesterday afternoon for the walkthrough that, you know, this one is always special. He said Florida is a tough game every year, but this one right here, because of being border states, is such a big rivalry with the 2 schools. This is Darden who's coming to the ball game. He will take it out across the 20. As T. Martin operates at quarterback. Young man out of Mobile, Alabama. He's a sophomore at 6'3", 220. We mentioned in the Texas Tech game, but I certainly think it's worth mentioning again. He's an extraordinary athlete, and to show you how good an athlete he is naturally a left-hander, and his father wouldn't let him learn to throw left-handed. He made him throw right-handed. and he is good enough to really zing the football, throwing with the other arm. Darden again, straight ahead on the handoff, and he'll take it to about the 20.
And if you're Philip Fulmer, you want to see him throw the ball in this situation, not just come in and hand off the football. You see him do some different things that he can do. He practices every week for this opportunity. Of course, he got caught a little bit with the time because Alabama moved that ball, so he's going to get 5 minutes playing time. If he doesn't get a first down here, he's only going to get 3 plays.
They may pick up the first down on the penalty. Actually, it's going to be 3rd down at about 1. Kenny Smith, the freshman out of Meridian, jumped off sides. And his final numbers, 23 of 37, 304 yards, 3 interceptions, or 3 touchdowns, I beg your pardon. No interception.
With the way he's played here in Birmingham, he needs a pro football team to move here. He has had 2 great games here.
Really has. Mikey hit 9 different receivers tonight. 3 touchdowns in the ball game. Fumbled the snap. It's on the ground. And the officials, from the way they are posturing, it is going to stay with Tennessee. They may have fumbled themselves into a first down here. Yep, Al Forrest says move the chains. Looked like Mookie Moore being treated on the sideline for an injured shoulder. T. Martin zings the ball, almost intercepted.
You know, Ron, you talk about Peyton Manning's night and the Heisman Trophy up for grabs. Let's take a look at some of the players. Of course, we know what Peyton did tonight. Randy Moss, they got drilled today by Miami of Ohio. Ryan Leaf stays undefeated. 332 passing yards. Curtis Enos, the 2 touchdowns, dodged the loss. And Damian Craig had a rough day over at Auburn. I think Peyton Manning will win the Heisman. His team can't afford to lose a ball game. They lose a ball game, I think he may lose the Heisman with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. T. Martin short drop, nobody there. Hit from behind. Ball is loose. Alabama's on the football at the 21. And it looks as though Travis Carroll comes up with the ball. And I think it's Wagner who knocked it loose. That's the sequence. Wagner knocked it loose. Travis Carroll with the recovery.
Not going to be pleased. You'd like to get your backup quarterback a little bit more work than this. Good defensive play by Alabama.
38-14. The Vols lead it with 3 minutes and 14 seconds left to play. John David Phillips in at quarterback for the Crimson Tide. You can see the movement at the line of scrimmage. Flags go down, and that play will be stopped for a loss, but they'll mark off 5 against Tennessee. It looked like Coleman, Jeff Coleman, a junior out of Gaffney, South Carolina.
All sides, defense, 5 yards, repeat, first down.
Jeff Coleman jumped offside, so the 5 will be stepped off. T. Martin now gets his opportunity to talk to David Cutcliffe upstairs. Under 3 minutes to play in this one. Phillips with an option play. Spins off 1 tackler. Falls forward for about 3.
The Tennessee bench, they've already give Philip Fulmer his shower down there on the sideline, even though there's 2:28 left to go. They can get their matches out now. But it is a special game. You can tell exactly. Peyton Manning's last time against the University of Alabama. Leonard Little's last time.
His last time. That's exactly right. Al Wilson has another time to do it. Curtis Alexander fighting his way for the first down and down to the 5.
And on the other sideline, Ron, you think about the next time. And that's what Mike DeBose is thinking about. There'll be another day when I get to coach against Tennessee, and I'm going to have a better football team and a better chance.
It's been a tough one. Both sides have sustained some injuries in the ballgame. As you looked at Freddie Kitchens having his knee packed in ice. Alexander. Maybe a gain of a half yard. That's about it. Next Saturday, as I mentioned, we will be in Charlottesville, Virginia. Florida State, the Seminoles, taking on the Cavaliers. The following Saturday, we'll be at Syracuse for the matchup between West Virginia and Syracuse. And then, 3 weeks from tonight, Chapel Hill for Florida State against North Carolina.
Big ball game now. Hopefully, as we go along, each week we've been having some great ball games.
Phillips got it away, but he caught it out of bounds. That was Jackson.
We talked about the bumps and bruises of Tennessee. Their remaining schedule. You got South Carolina at home, a tough Southern Mississippi football team. Then they go to Arkansas and Kentucky and conclude with Vanderbilt. But they need to win out to get in the alliance, and I believe for Peyton Manning to win the Heisman Trophy.
Phillips drills it. Touchdown, Alabama. Quincy Jackson on the receiving end.
What's up, baby? What's up, what's up, baby? What's up, everybody? To you, LSA. Hey, you know what we doing?
It's always next week, Ron, for Alabama. You know, just like it's a quick trip sometimes from the penthouse to the outhouse and back the other way. But who would have thought last week at LSU what would happen to them? They beat Florida and then come back the next week and get beaten by Ole Miss.
That's what can happen in those rivalry games. We'll be right back.
Peyton Manning, man, do we love you. You're in the hearts of volunteers. You're big orange through and through. Like Archie and Olivia, we're really proud of you. Peyton Manning, man, do we love you.
So Peyton Manning, much written about, now much sung about. Almost 2,000 yards in the season, 19 touchdowns, no interceptions tonight, so the total remains 6. And you can see his completion and attempt mark, 162-259.
This nice job by you singing.
Always enjoyed that bluegrass. Here comes the onside kick, bounding at the 45, and the Good Hands group will take it at the 45. It's Jermaine Copeland. And we'll get to see T. Martin one more time. Well, tonight's Visa players of the game from Tennessee. Peyton Manning, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. And from Alabama, Trevis Smith, the Alabama linebacker, 9 tackles, 1 fumble recovery. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 on behalf of these 2 athletes to their school's General Scholarship Fund. Derek Edmonds has checked into the ball game at fullback, sophomore out of Tampa, Florida, number 33. And he gets the handoff, takes it for 1. 31 seconds, now 30 seconds. 18 seconds, now 17. Another play will not be run. This one is history. The third Saturday in October 1997 goes to the Tennessee Volunteers. Final 38-21. Stay tuned.